Hello ladies and gentlemen. So I was asked to demonstrate how to create custom animations for items in Dota 2. The issue is that there is no official way to do this right now. I think most of the items in the workshop that do have custom animations were done in either cooperation with Valve or by Valve themselves. So the only thing that I can demonstrate to you is how you preview animations in Dota 2. So when it comes time to finally package it, you're just going to have to include the animation and hope that Valve does include it in the final product when it's included into the game. So the first thing, I'm going to demonstrate this on faceless void model. I'm just going to show you the full way to extract it. The programs that I'm use are going to be in the comments, same as last time. So read the comments for updates, and I'm probably going to do annotations too if there's something significant that's changed. Alright, so let's just extract the MDL file for faceless void. It's the main MDL files of the base model that contain the animations, as you'll see in a second. Alright, all the faceless void, MDL, VTX, VVD, all of those. Let's just drag and drop those. Alright, now we have the MDL here. Now the thing is, I would normally try to extract this with Crowbar, but Crowbar, while Crowbar may be the better decompiler and compiler of MDL files performance-wise right now, it still has some issues with animations, which may have changed by the time you watch this video, but it was an issue when I was dealing with it. So I'm just going to use the old Studio compiler for it. So model decompile, the faceless void one, and I'm just going to create a new directory for the extracted files. Extracted. Also remember that for the MDL decompiler you are going to need to rename the vertex list. Alright, so the extracted folder, put it in here. So there you see all the animations are extracted together with the model. So now I just open Blender. Alright, make sure you have the Valve plugin loaded. Then go to the place where you extracted the faceless void model. And for reference, it's easier if you first load the base model, which is a faceless void model DMX. Doesn't really matter, the LOD one and the base one are the same in this case, but usually you would just load the base one. Alright, if you, for reference, need his weapon or his head as well, you can extract those as well and just import them again. It won't override what you will currently have imported, it will just add to that. So now, if we want to make a custom attack animation, we would usually just open the default attack animation. And as you see, the first and the last frame are the same. They are always starting and ending with the idle animation. So you can also just open the idle animation and use the first and last frame for that. But so we know which frame we should end and start in. So we can just delete all the ones in between. And just zoom in and select all of those in between the first and the last one, delete them. So now there's no actual animation. If we play, so you see no animation. This is just to demonstrate, so I'm just gonna rotate some joints. if you actually want to animate this, you should probably look up some animation tutorials and maybe create a custom rig or use a rig if there's one available for the Dota character you want to animate. So I'm just gonna rotate this arm a little bit forward. I'm by no means an animator, so you're not gonna see much artistship here. Let's create a keyframe for the location and rotation. And let's do backswing of his arm as well. Just to have something happen. Like I said, this is just for demonstration purposes. So, by the way, you can shorten or lengthen this animation as much as you want. It doesn't really matter because, well, it might matter because Valve will not accept animations, I'm guessing, which are significantly shorter or longer than default animations, but I'm just going to leave it like at this length. But if you want, you can just move the last keyframe to whatever length you want and it'll still work. All right. So now we've made this little animation. You can go to the scene tab and you can export as an SMD, which is the preferred format for the model for the studio compiler, the Canon for the custom one, I mean. All right, the export path. Let's just set it to a new folder. Let's call it edited, just for overview purposes. The rest I just leave at default for now, and you can see it will export the attack SMD. You can just export the attack SMD with this button if you have the skeleton selected. So select the skeleton in object mode and you can just press the attack SMD button and it says one file export. So now we have here an anim's attack SMD. You can just copy this one. And here I'll just override the default attack animation from the extracted folder. And I also override the alternative animation because it's just a pain in the ass to, when you're in-game previewing it and you're just hitting creeps to test and just place the alternative animation. A little bit annoying. So let's just override both attack and attack alt 1. Okay, now that we have those overridden, we're just gonna, also you'll see that the custom animations for the Beardy Claw weapon are inside the main model file for Faceless Void, so this is probably where your custom animation will end up if it ever gets included into the game. I mean, it would be a lot more elegant to have this inside the item, but I don't think that's possible in the current model format that Valve uses. But I don't know, could be. So then you just want to recompile the model again. Make sure you have the QC file that's the model decompiler created, this one, MDL decompiler, set here in the QC file. You want to compile with an existing QC file, and then just press the compile button. This will take a while. Like I said, the crowbar compiler and decompiler is a lot faster. But oh, okay. We have some errors here. SMD model. All right. There's some issue with the extracting process, with the outdated compiler. So just delete the .dmx from the .dmx.smd files because the compiler has issues with it. Understandably, having a double extension may not be what they intended. If they're searching for the first or the second dot, for the last dot, who knows. Anyway, then just make sure that you have the extracted files renamed to the LOD1 DMX SMD just rename it to SND, and the same for the faceless void model one. Save the QC file and compile again. This time it will take a little bit longer, of course, since it will hopefully find all the necessary files. It'll also like stay stuck for a second like this, because like the seemingly the UI thread of this program is doing the processing. So you see it's like a little bit of an outdated software, but anyway, it'll work in the end for now. Like I said, hopefully the Crowbar compiler will soon have compatibility with the animation formats. We can always hope. Anyway, when we're done, we're gonna put it in the your program files, Steam apps, common, Dota2 beta, Dota, models, heroes, faceless void. This is just a shortcut I said. We'll put it like in this folder. By the way, this compilation process will override the one that you extracted. I mean, not the one that you extracted, the one that you extracted from the GCF file. It will override those because the path is set inside the QC file here with the model name, and it'll override the one that you originally extracted the model from if you don't change any of the paths. But you need to also make sure that the model name path stays the same, because this is important for the final MDL file. It'll end up in there, and Dota needs to match these. Also, like I said, with the animation, you're gonna do something more sophisticated rig-wise, like at least basic IK for the feet, or toggleable IK for the feet, and probably some maybe for the arms. I don't know. I'm not much of an animator, so I don't really know where you would use IK for all purposes, like finger roll, stuff like that. Anyway, now I see here the output. You can always try to check if that's the one that was written by the compiler. Like you see, it's done right now. Let's do the MDL thread complete. You can always check if this is really the ones that you wanted by just checking the date modified, if it's matching up with the current date, current time. Just gonna copy everything over to the Dota2 beta, Dota, models, heroes, faceless void. Then, as always, open your Dota2. Make sure that you have in the launch options you have override VPEG. Good thing I checked. Then just start Dota2. Then I usually just start a bot game, because I think it's like the quickest way to just get inside the game. I mean, you could probably just open the console, type map Dota2 and spawn a hero, but I'm not that familiar with the console commands. So just start a practice bot game, select the hero you edited, and I'll also show you another way in which you can preview the animations, but for in-game purposes, I think this is oh wait, no. I think the other way is a little bit easier than this one. I'll just show you in a second. I don't really think about that. But anyway, the override VPEG is important because usually you'd think that just, let me select faceless void, that just using the custom model preview on the importing workshop import tool would work, but it somehow doesn't if you don't use override VPEG. Right, so animation looks normal. Everything looks normal so far. You will see that the portrait bugs out. So you already see that it's the model file replaced. It's not the original one. The original one wouldn't bug out like that. So you see that the compiler doesn't do a perfect job with recompiling it exactly the way it was. But it's like just for testing purposes. Like I said, when you finally want to publish it, you would just include the animation SMD file in your items, in your zip file for your submission. So I'm just going to wait for creeps to spawn. Like I said, it would probably be better if I would actually remember the console commands to trigger something like this. But I haven't done this often enough to warrant it. By the way, like I said, I don't personally just know that there has been an item published by a item creator that wasn't in close contact with Valve, with custom animations or custom particles, which, by the way, are a little bit easier because the custom particles are inside the actual model file of the cosmetic item and not of the base model like animations are. So there might also be an easier way to have the animation only trigger on your cosmetic item, but for previewing it's really the easiest way to just override the defaults for now. At least as far as I know. I'm not really the highest authority on this one. So you see this is our crummy attack animation and some alternative ones which I don't know quite when they're triggered. There must be the weirdly claw ones. You see that there was a crap animation. There was again. There. Alright, this shall suffice for like previewing it for now. I mean, you could go into the budget mode there. You see the crappy one. Alright, this shall suffice. Let's get out of the game. So another way is just to go to the workshop, publish new submission, view existing model, and then load your faceless void, the one that you replaced. And now you can just watch the attack animation here. Like there's our crappy attack animation. Yeah, there it is. So you can also use the daylight and nighttime preview. Like right here, if you don't want to bother loading up a game just to see the animation in the same perspective as a player would see it. Also, you can compare it with the, yeah, that's the weird claw one that strangely gets triggered with normal weapons. I don't know what's up with that. Anyway, you could also use the in-game preview here. That's probably the faster way to do it without starting up a bot game. So just load the model, use the in-game preview one, and pick faceless void. But I don't know if creeps spawn in this. Yeah, I think it instantly starts, doesn't it? I don't see any creeps here. Weird, it counts up and says prepare for battle. Anyway, that's not really important here. You see that the model is also loaded because it glitches out right there. Anyway, let's quit out for now. Okay, this is about everything I can show you right now. Like I said, you really ought to just go ask people who have more experience with this, like some people on the Polycount forums or the Dota2 dev forums. I don't know if they're accepting new registrations, but I think so. It should be alright. Anyway, I'll catch you later.